couple of stories about how the future of filmmaking will be impacted by the situation. Among that, I read one very interesting story about how we should expect to see a lot of contained sort of scripts being made into feature films.
Yeah.
Because people won't have too much money to likely dispense with in filmmaking. And given the experiences that people have had at this time, it was suggested that we should expect to see stories that are contained in terms of location, in terms of budget, in terms of an idea that would demand very little. As a producer, do you think that there's merit in this school of thought? Do you expect to see an explosion of such ideas? Is that something you're looking for?
I thought there'll be an explosion of medical thrillers that will come around, is what I really thought, and conspiracy theories about the whole virus and everything like that. That's intelligent filmmaking is what I think. Scriptwriting and all that is what I think will come up a lot more. But it'll be trying to work with restricted crews is what I think everybody's looking at.
Yeah.
And to me, the unions will not fancy that right now, but that was always something that needed to be done, and I think this will bring about that to a large extent. But otherwise, in terms of writing, it's like they're suggesting. I read some article about some shoot in Germany and all that, where they were suggesting, two people standing at a distance and the lensing making it look like they're close to each other and all that.
Yeah.
One-off scripts like that is possible. We're also writing for a platform. 5-6 filmmakers have come together to make a film that's about hope and stuff like that. And everybody is writing within confined spaces, 2 people, 3 people and all that. But I think that will change very soon. Once everything opens up, I think that will change. We'll go back to our regular flying around and mass film.
Oh yeah, masked superheroes have no problems. They can wear a plethora of masks now. But Gautham, when I see Reina Hai Tere Dil Mein on television now, and you see the sort of cult status it has acquired now, you think what happened when it released in 2001? Where were all these viewers who ooh and ah about the film now?
Well, I think generally with all my films, I will talk about Reina Tere Dil Mein separately. Generally with all my films, there is very mixed reactions initially, which I always believe is good. And then either it settles down into being really good later, like 3-4 days later or a week later, or it just peters out into, being, okay, it didn't work at all. My last film with Dhanush didn't work at all, actually, in that sense. There were lots of mixed talk initially, and then it just, faded out like that. With Reina Hai Tere Dil Mein, again, it connects with an earlier answer of mine where it was completely Madhavan's call, saying, let's go do this film in Hindi and Vashuji will take care of us. And I said, Maddie, I have no clue. Let's go into another Tamil film. I actually pitched the story of Kaka Kaka to Maddie at that time itself. But Madhavan said, no, Gautham, Vashuji is a really big producer and he'll take us through this film. And people are excited about this and all that stuff. So I went completely under sort of Maddie's, wings. And I just let him. Yes, I directed the film and, there was a vision and all that stuff. But Maddie sort of oversaw, everything in that sense. And, of course, Vashuji was sitting on top of all of us and figuring out. We shot for Mumbai in Durban. He said that's the only way to get Saif Ali Khan to come to our sets and all that. So I don't know if I should be saying all this. With Kaveree around, it's going to
move to Durban. To go to Durban, you have to get Saif Ali Khan. Hilarious.
Yeah, he said he'll be with us, constantly if we shoot in a place outside. So he should. So I had to figure out how to make Durban look like Bombay in many scenes in that film. But we had a great time. There was Dia, there was Maddie, there was me. And of course, the music of Harris, which became really popular later and all that. No idea what happened when the film released. It was Vashuji's production. The previous film had done really well, with Tushar Kapoor and Kareena.
Right.
Had done really well just 5-6 months before our film. So we all thought, he'd take care of, marketing and the film would be big and all. But it opened big and just, faded out in about 3 to 4 days, I think. And the reviews were not very pleasant either. But then since then, I have no idea why people, not why, but, it's surprising to see that this film really people talk about and they recognize, the songs and the moments in the film and all that.
And they love it.
It's strange to me.
Yeah. I'm glad you resisted the temptation of redoing it with Jackie, right? Thank God. Were you asked to redo it with Jackie? Vashu's son?
The frame here is frozen, Kaveree. I'm not saying anything right now.
I said, I believe, okay, so you're just putting me off. I understand that. Okay, Sudhir, over to you.
Yes, Gautam, I want to explore this thought that you just shared while you were answering that question. You spoke about how your films have always come out to mixed responses, even the ones that went on to be loved. Have you? It must have been very tempting, obviously, over the years, to sit and wonder why this is. I mean, why? What about my film sort of garners? I mean, this has happened to your latest short as well. Do you suppose it has anything to do with some of the ideas of the film challenging people? I mean, the status quo or
Accepted
people's mindsets,
notion, yeah.
or why do you suppose this is?
Yeah, I don't want to analyze it ever, Sudhir, because I think I just stopped writing. I'm actually, a couple of times I did look for other writers to see if I can just, pick up content and direct it, because I know I'll really do a good job with that. And Queen was a really, wonderful experience in that sense. It sort of gave me a lot of confidence that I could direct somebody else's work. But I think even with Karthik dying at the end, there are moments that might not augur well with people, I think, looking at it in retrospect. But I thought it was edgy always, it was meant to be that. And the character is in me. I know that this is how Karthik will behave. I remember reading a review of Kaveree's Manmarzia. If I had directed Manmarzia here, they'd be outside my house, major protests. I think you said love is complicated, it's unexpected, you can't put it into boxes, something like that, So that's what it was. I don't want to define anything under romantic love. Anybody's free to do whatever they want. I'm not saying everybody should call their exes and talk to them and stuff like that. But these two are in that space. They can talk to each other like that. And that's all it was. So why is it looked upon?
I suppose part of the reason why, maybe because people have a lot of love for these characters. Right? It almost feels to a lot of people like they own these characters, if you know what I mean, because of the love that Vinay Thandivarwaya got. And Karthik and Jesse.
Yeah, even then, I've not thrown mud on their faces at all. Karthik will behave like that. Kanne Tadumari Nadandem is what the song lyrics are. Noolilladu Marayagi Pone, that's how he is. He can never be, he'll be on the line. He's that droplet of water that hangs on that thread, and stays onto that string. He'll always be there. So his conversation is going to be like that. And in 10 years, he's not spoken to her like that. In 10 years, there's been regular exchanges. Hi, hello, how are the kids and stuff like that. In 10 years, the first time he just thought, let me indulge and, that. And also the other thing, Sudhir, I know from 60 lakh, 70 lakh views and still counting for a 12-minute short film, which is unheard of, I think. There are more than 40,000, 50,000 likes. From that, I'm okay with 100 people dissing it, and it doesn't matter. It's negligible in that sense. Science will tell you that it's negligible. Yeah. But these 100 will matter to the press and to the media, and that's what they'll put out. And it's like a dialogue from my own film. 28 encounter, adala one failure, adapati mattum dhaan pesuvanga. So, yeah.
Right. And to add to the couple of lines you sang from Manipaya was that song, right?
Yes.
Unnaldan Kalenya Naanene, in a sense, also summarizes what happens in this film.
Exactly. Yeah.
Sudhir, we have a couple of questions. One is from G. Maheshwaran. When will Dhruva Natchathiram release?
Okay, so that's the big event film that I was telling you about. It's with Vikram. Okay. It's with Vikram. It's a spy thriller and a really ensemble cast with a lot of big actors, Simran, Radhika, Parthiban, and the young Ritu from Peli Chuplu, in Telugu and all that.
Yeah.
And we're at the fag end of production. So Vikram is coming to dub shortly. And once he dubs, we will see if we can immediately once theatres open up. And I think this will bring back, apart from all the other big films out there, this will also bring crowds to theatre, I think. So,
right. Yeah. And we have another question from Uday. Asked GVM about how he liked the role he played in Kannum Kolayadathal with Dulquer. Oh, Dulquer is one of my favorites.
Okay. See, again, it was the crew and the unit that made me feel very comfortable, and I was looking for that. I'm not really looking to act in every film that comes my way. I've backed out of a couple of films after filming also because it just didn't work for me. But here, the crew, along with Dulquer, made me feel really comfortable. They gave me the lines much in advance. I knew what I was doing, and there's a little twist at the end of the film with me, as the mainstay of whatever was happening and all that. And they were very hesitant to tell me that. But when they told me, I loved it, and I said, this is what makes a difference in this film. And actually, the film worked to a large extent because of that little twist at the end. You know,
Right.
a young team, and I loved it. Likewise with Anwar Rashid's Trance, I wanted to be in that unit just to figure out, look at them work. It was a learning for me because it was masterclass all around. Everything was so planned and proper. And Fahadh was, I don't know if you've seen some of Fahadh's work.
Yeah, oh,
He's
brilliant.
actor,
He's
you know,
brilliant.
and it was learning to just watch him get into that zone 15 minutes before the shot, and everybody else would get into the discipline, you know. And I thought I must tell my actors also, you know, to follow this. You know, and he plays with his eyes so much. So
Yeah.
it was all under the umbrella of learning, and I don't mind that anytime.
And Kaveree, between you and me, right after I came out of Kannum Kannum Kolliyattal, the first call I made was to Gautham.
Okay.
To tell him that that last scene sort of redefines the entire film, and I was very happy that that he took up. I mean, he took that role sportingly, and I was a bit surprised also that he accepted parodying one of his very famous scenes from Enethandi.
We have two more questions. Sorry, Sudhir. Lots of people are very keen to ask
I
Gautam.
understand.
Gautam, sir, thank you for shaping my perceptions on life, women, and romance through your films. How do you pick short films to feature on your channel on YouTube, Salmaan?
So we get a lot of people who manage to get my number, or they even message directly on the YouTube channel called Undraga, which we manage.
Right.
So people can send their links, and there is a team that sort of watches these short films, and we have put out a lot of short films other people have done and that we haven't produced. So the more the merrier. Please, you're welcome to send your links to us and we'll watch it.
And Bala Jairam wants to know, how do you see the film industry changing after COVID? You've answered that in a bit, but perhaps you could just sort of,
I just think it'll just come back to normalcy very soon. As soon as everything opens up, people are just raring to go back. And I think there'll be big crowds in the theaters. And at the same time, web series, OTTs, the platforms will coexist, and it'll be a nice alternative platform for filmmakers to exhibit their wares, like I keep saying. Yeah.
Gautam, may I just ask one question more, Sudhir? When you see some of these guys like Dulquer, Fahadh, who for you are the new, young, interesting people who are really going to redefine the way cinema is made, not just, as it's called regional cinema, but really cinema, national cinema?
You said the names, and I think you should add Vijay Sethupathi to that list. I think Vijay Sethupathi, Dulquer, Fahadh, much more than the other two, I think, are the superstars out there, and the next 20 years will belong to them, I feel. I would love to throw Vijay Deverakonda also into the equation and see, what comes up.
What makes them so different, Gautam? What is their sensibility like? Are they risk takers? Are they unafraid? What defines them?
I think Vijay Sethupathi, Fahadh Faasil, and Dulquer are all risk takers. I think they are. They don't care so much about their images. They don't doctor films to their needs.
Yeah.
They love content, and they get into it purely based on the content and the vision of the director. Like, you can't imagine any of our guys doing a film like Tondi Mudalam Sakhi, where Fahadh Faasil plays a chain snatcher.
Yeah.
Who swallows the chain and gets holed up in a police station.
Right.
It's brilliant.
Yeah.
So there's no worry about image or, what will the audience perceive me to be and all that stuff. And I think even Vijay Sethupathi falls into that bracket very easily. He plays a older man, he plays a younger guy, there's grey hair, he's flaunting, he's portly, he's not really toned or anything like that. He doesn't give a damn, and that's lovely, to watch. So, and he performs so beautifully and so naturally, you don't even think he was an actor at work. So I think the risk takers largely define them under that category.
Gautam, from observing how people are taking to films by these actors, are you happy with how they're being celebrated presently, or do you think they should?
Sorry, Sudhir, I lost you for a bit there.
Yeah, from observing how people have been responding to work by these actors, are you happy with how they're being celebrated? Do you think they're getting their due as performers, as risk takers? Okay, but are they getting their due? Maybe there is a lot more that is in store for them, and maybe we ourselves should write interesting content for them. And I hope they pick that also. Like, I'm not saying I should work with them, but I hope they look at a lot of the younger content. That's younger guys who are putting out great content out there. I'm so happy they all did Super Deluxe. I'm saying there was an ensemble cast there.
Yeah.
It was challenging to a large extent. That's all it is. I'm not going to talk much more about that film, but it put something new out there, and hopefully the audience will accept it. If you don't put it out, how do you know? Talking about Super Deluxe, I'm saying there is an opening sequence with Samantha and her ex-lover, and Kumar Raja gets away with it. But when I toe the same line, I don't get away with it to a large extent. So it's very interesting in that sense as to how people look at filmmakers' work.
Right. We have a question from Tharan, expecting you to do a movie with Rajni sir. When will it happen? Oh.
Okay.
This has been a rumor that has been floating every now and then.
Yeah, it's not set up by me, Sudhir. I don't name it, but
no,
but I
it's
wish,
set up by Rajni.
I wasn't implying that.
Not you, by Rajnikant.
No way. So it's always I'm looking forward to it. I've had a couple of opportunities to narrate something to him, but and for a day I thought I was the director of his next film. One whole day he said yes, the producer said yes, and once was put out and all that, and I started almost putting the word out to family and just sort of started getting into the zone when I heard that it's not going to be, and the next film is going to be Kabali that Ranjit is going to direct. So I don't know what happened during that day, but I'm hoping there will be another day where that will come true. I'm really hoping.
And we have Uday asking, and apparently 3 people have asked the same question. When is your next movie with Ajit?
So there is a sequel that I have worked out during this lockdown, out of which is one scene that I wanted to shoot with Satyadev and Victor having a conversation with each other.
Right.
It's come out really well. I think at some point I will pitch it to him. There are no problems as such. And if sort of Ajit sir likes it, then I'm sure it will happen.
Sudhir, that's your headline.
Is this a sequel for NIE that you're looking at?
Yeah, it is. It's
I see. Okay.
a sequel to taking the character forward, like my cop stories, another episode with no women dying in the film. Yeah.
And Kaveree, no, absolutely not. We will not capitalize on that line for the headline. No.
Gautham, I was just a little disappointed you didn't mention any women in the people to look out for. There's some interesting women as well right now.
Oh yeah, Kaveree. Because I think we specifically talked about superstar actors.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm a big fan of a lot of people's work.
Like, look at Samantha's work. Isn't it fantastic?
Samantha's brilliant, and it was really brave of her to do, Super Deluxe itself.
Yeah.
I thought it was really, wonderful that she was part of that film and sort of encouraging a filmmaker to sort of put out content like that. And Aishwarya Rajesh is also from here, and she does a lot of good work.
Right.
I like to see her on screen. Kirti Suresh is
wonderful. Yeah.
In Mahanti, and I had the opportunity of working on a television commercial with her, and she was so easy and so proper in front of the camera. You knew here was an actor that you can narrate any story with and take it forward.
Right.
In Malayalam, there's Parvati, whose work is outstanding.
Oh yes, and she is outstanding in every way. I mean, she's such an amazing woman.
Everything is brilliant, and these are women that you can really look up to, and just sit back.
Great. So the last question, then we can.
Oh, absolutely.
Go back to writing and filmmaking.
Right, here we go. Now, people are talking about, going on vacations, meeting distant friends. I think everybody has something that they want to do the moment the lockdown is lifted and things return to normalcy. What are 1 or 2 or 3 things that you can't wait to do the moment the lockdown is?
I think a road trip with the family is very essential because we're all just, sort of wanting to break out and travel and stuff like that. Mom is also there with us, so we thought we'd just do a nice road trip somewhere. Go to the theatre and watch a film might even top that, actually. Go to the theatre and watch a big event film with crowds, and where there's no scare of any COVID virus or anything like that. Not just with social distancing and not with middle seats not available and all that stuff. These are the 2 on the top of my list, and probably reconnect with a lot more people and also I'm a very, I'm a very physical person. It's very difficult for me to say this or not reach out and touch a person. So I want to do that in a very wholehearted way. I did shake a few hands yesterday saying, really, I don't care, So I want to do that. I want to be physical again in that sense.
Where are you going to take the road trip to, Gautham? Have you decided?
Well, we had something planned. It was an extensive plan, actually. So we're hoping it will be. So we did last year. We did the Delhi and the Agra thing because Mom wanted to take a look at Taj Mahal again and all that
Right.
stuff. This time we thought we'll drive up to Goa.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah,
Great.
from here.
Thank you so much. It's such a pleasure. Sudhir, any last words? It's really a privilege to talk to you, Gautham.
It was nice
Absolutely.
talking to you for the first time, Kaveree. And I was asking Sudhir, oh my God, Kaveree's on the show. Will it be okay for me, to just freewheel and stuff? Just be yourself.
I really enjoy your movies. So fabulous stuff.
Thank you. And you made me feel really comfortable. So that's really important. Thank you so much.
And I enjoy these Ureadals and stuff also.
Okay, thank you. Sudhir, yeah.
Thanks so much.
Thank you, Gautham, for being part of this session.
Thank you.
See you soon in the physical world. Bye.
Yes.
Yes.
Bye.
See you.
Bye. See you.